Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today's video is Week 3 running back rankings, my rankings from 1 through 32 for the running back position for Week 3. Before I start the video, I'd like to ask you, could please go down below and click that subscribe button, because not only is it going to help me, it's also going to help you guys dominate your whole fantasy football season. I release so many videos every single day, every single week. There's going to be streams every single week, one stream Thursday night, one stream Sunday night. So when you click that subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you get notified for all the streams, all the videos. It's fucking amazing. Let's get right into the video, boys and girls, because there's a couple girls that watch these videos. Okay, so number 1 through 12. Number 1 on the running back rankings right now is Christian McCaffrey of the Panthers going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley, every single week are going to be top 3 guys in my rankings. Alvin Kamara would have been part of that in the top 4 had Drew Brees not have gotten hurt. Christian McCaffrey had an amazing week 1. And then week 2, he played like shit. Well, he didn't play like shit, but the team just didn't use him as much. Week 3, they're going to use him a lot. Kyle Allen will be dumping the ball off to him a lot. And I think Christian McCaffrey is in for a huge game this week. And number 2, we have Ezekiel Elliott going against the Miami Dolphins. He has potential to be the number 1 back as well. The Miami Dolphins defense is sorry. They are terrible. He's going to run his way all up and through that Miami Dolphins defense and have his way with it and score a bajillion points. So Ezekiel Elliott's going to be a great back this week. At number 3, we have Saquon Barkley going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Daniel Jones, now the quarterback of the Giants. Regardless who the quarterback is, it doesn't matter. Saquon Barkley rushes for 100 and a touchdown every single week. It's like clockwork. You don't even have to watch the game. You just know what's going to happen. He will play great this week. I'm confident in it. At number 4, we have Nicholas Chubb going against the LA Rams on Sunday night. Now, Nick Chubb last week had a pretty fucking good game against the Jets. Week 1, he had an okay game. Disappointed because Damian Hilliard vultured his touchdown. That should have been Nick Chubb's touchdown, but Damian Hilliard got it. Now, Nick Chubb is going to be heavily utilized this game against the Rams. I think they're going to be mixing the run with the throw. I think Nick Chubb, the run with the pass, Nick Chubb should have a pretty solid game. Number 5, we have Austin Eckler of the LA Chargers going up against the Houston Texans. Every single week, Austin Eckler seems to be a top 10 back. He gets so much use on the Chargers that it's crazy. Pass catching, rushing, touchdowns, all of the big 3 things you need for a fantasy football running back. He's going to be amazing this week going up against Houston. Number 6, we have the bright spot of the Minnesota Vikings offense. That is Dalvin Cook going up against the Oakland Raiders. Defense, not very good. Dalvin Cook, very good. Very injury prone as well. But that doesn't matter because week 3, he's going to be amazing up against the Oakland Raiders. Knock one time if you're with me. Number 7, we have David Johnson of the Cardinals going up against Carolina. David Johnson is going to be seeing a bunch of dump-offs. Now, I know his wrist last week, he had a weak wrist, and he got hurt. This week, should be all good to go. Should be all fine. Should be catching balls, running with the ball, doing all of the things that a running back does, and play pretty solid this week. Now, number 8, we have Le'Veon Bell going against the New England defense. Now, I am worried about one thing, and that is Bill Belichick is too smart. He may just shut down Le'Veon Bell. But even if he shuts down Le'Veon Bell may get the ball thrown to him 3,000 times and catch the ball enough times to that if you're in a PPR league, it's certainly worth it. These are rankings for PPR. If you got any questions about the rankings for standard, half PPR, just ask me down below in the comments. I'll give you an answer. At number 9, we have Chris Carson, running back of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I know last week he got yanked by Pete Carroll for fumbling the ball. It wasn't even really his fault. I think this week he'll be pretty solid up against New Orleans. We know every single week at the beginning of the game, Chris Carson is going to be that starter. As long as he doesn't fumble the ball away up against New Orleans, I think he'll have a pretty solid game this week. At number 10, we have the running back on the other side of the ball in this game, Alvin Kamara going up against the Seahawks. Alvin Kamara is normally a top 5 back every single week, but now with Drew Brees gone, I am slightly worried that they're not too worried about Michael Thomas getting the ball 20 yards down the field, and they'll be more worried about Alvin Kamara catching the ball a few yards away from the line of scrimmage. I think that Alvin Kamara will still have a solid enough game to be a top 10 back this week. At number 11, we have Todd Gurley. It's impossible to take Todd Gurley out of the top 12 going up against Cleveland at Cleveland. It's pretty obvious that Todd Gurley has the skills to be a number one back every single week. Will he be able to do it? Recently, he has not. That D arthritis seems to be a problem. If he hops in the end zone, runs for 70, 80 yards, he will be that top 12 guy that you want. I like Todd Gurley this week going up against Cleveland. At number 12, we have Indianapolis running back Marlon Mack going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Marlon Mack is not your typical PPR back. He doesn't really catch any passes. He just runs the ball, but he runs damn well. He looks good against Atlanta this week. I'm pretty confident in him being a top 12 back this week. At number 13, now we're at rankings 13 through 24. We have Aaron Jones going up against the Denver Broncos. Now I know there's reports. Oh, we're gonna split the. I'm Matt LaFleur. We are going to split. I don't even know what the fuck accent Matt LaFleur should have, but what he's saying is that they were going to split the ball 50-50 between Aaron Jones and Williams. Now, how true is that? That could just be coach speak. Probably fake news, if I'm being honest with you. I'm confident Aaron Jones is going to get the ball a lot. Looked amazing last week. Going to look good this week as well. Number 14, we have Sony Michel going up against the Jets. Two solid matchups in a row for Sony Michel to hop in the end zone. Last week did it against the Dolphins. This week I think he'd do it up against the New York Football Jets. And number 15, we have injured James Conner. Now, I think James Conner, a lot of people are worried about him. I think he's going to be perfectly fine up against San Francisco. Mason Rudolph's the quarterback. He may get a bit scared, dump the ball off to James Conner a few times, rack up those PPR points, and look pretty great this week. At number 16, we have Mr. Mark Ingram, Baltimore Ravens running back, going against the Kansas City Chiefs. While I do think this is going to be a high-scoring matchup, you can't just throw the ball a million times. Mark Ingram will get that work in the rushing game and play pretty solid. He can also catch passes, so I'm pretty confident in Mark Ingram this week at number 16. Now, number 17, we have Kerryon Johnson, Mr. KJ, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 1, we saw really nothing out of Kerryon Johnson. Last week, scored that touchdown. This week, going to score a touchdown again. I'm confident in it. Kerryon Johnson is a guy I drafted super highly at the running back position because I know of his talent. As long as Matt Patricia gives him the ball, as long as Matt Stafford throws him the ball, we are going to see a solid week from Kerryon Johnson this week. And number 18, we have another failure from the coaching. David Montgomery going against the Washington Redskins on Monday night. David Montgomery, Matt Nagy used him a lot last week. I think we're going to see an even bigger uptick in David Montgomery's usage this week. I really love him this week. I hope that he's able to do it. I hope that Matt Nagy is smart enough to use the best back and David Montgomery can hop in the end zone, catch a bunch of passes, and have a great goddamn day for your fantasy football team. At number 19, we have Matthew Breida of the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, with Tevin Coleman gone, Mostert, Matt Breida, both starts in fantasy football. I personally believe Matt Breida is going to get the better fantasy week or have the better fantasy week. He is the number one back on the team. At number 20, we have Josh Jacobs at Minnesota. Who knows if he's going to play this week? He said he lost 10 pounds. That is not very good. Obviously, because he's so sick. That's not good. He's lost 10 fucking pounds. But as long as he's healthy, good to go. I'm playing him. Number 20 ranked running back this week going up against Minnesota. At number 21, we have Devontae Freeman going up against the Indianapolis Colts. If he is not able to figure this out soon, I don't know what is going to happen. Devontae Freeman has certifiably bust the last 2 weeks. This week, hopefully they decide to run the ball a bit more. While I still think it's going to be a pass-heavy attack from Matt Ryan, Devontae Freeman is a pass-catching back, can catch the balls. I think that Mr. Devontae Freeman should be in for a bounce back game this week. At number 22, we have James White going up against the Jets for the same reason that I like Sony Michel. I like James White, both on the Patriots. Should be getting some work against the Jets. It may be a blowout again this week like they blew out the Dolphins last week. At number 23, we have Joe Mixon up against the Buffalo Bills. Now, I find it irresponsible to not rank Joe Mixon as a top 24 guy. Joe Mixon, when healthy, is probably a top 10 back. How healthy is he right now? Doesn't look like it. Is he bound to bounce back eventually? Yes. Will it be this week? Probably not. Will it be next week? Maybe. But what I do know is that Joe Mixon is a top 24 back. He should be able to get a lot more touches this week up against the Buffalo Bills defense. At number 24, we have Duke Johnson Jr. of the Houston Texans going up against the LA Chargers. Last week, Duke Johnson disappointed, scored about 4 PPR fantasy points. This week, I think he's going to have a bigger game against the Chargers. Should be getting that dump off work from Watson, run the ball more than he did last week. Now we're up to 25 through 32. Number 25, we have LeSean McCoy going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, LaShawn McCoy's teammate, Damian Williams, out of the game. LaShawn McCoy should be pretty solid this week. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity to rush the ball, but I do think this is going to be a pass-heavy game, like I said. But LaShawn McCoy will get his work to be a top 25 back. At number 26, we have Frank Gore. Devin Singletary, out. It is just the Frank Gore show. Hopefully he's able to be pretty solid. Now he is an old fucking man, so I'm not too confident in him being like a running back too, but he's an okay flex option this week going against Cincinnati. At number 27, we have Phil Lindsay going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, any given week, I don't like starting him. I don't like starting Rolls-Royce Freeman against any team because any given week it could be a different back scoring the points on that team. You just got to hope that if you're playing them that it's Philip Lindsay this week. At 28, we have Tariq Cohen going up against the Washington Redskins. Now, I think Tariq Cohen is going to get a lot of balls thrown his way this week up against the Washington Redskins. But I do think at the end of the day, when they get to the goal line, it will be David Montgomery slamming that ball into the end zone. Tariq Cohen doesn't really have that rushing upside that we may have seen from the beginning of the season. I think David Montgomery is really going to take over. At number 29, we have Peyton Barber of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Had a really solid week, too, after the coach Bruce Arians hit us with some fake news. He told us it was going to be Ronald Jones week 2 against the Panthers. And then you know what he said? Fuck you. It's actually going to be Peyton Barber getting the ball a million times. Peyton Barber played pretty good. Going up against the Giants is obviously a solid matchup playing against that sorry of a defense. I like Peyton Barber this week to be a top 30 back. Sorry about that, friends. I had to cough right there. But at number 30, we have Miles Sanders going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Not going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. He's actually on that team. Better contrary belief, he is actually on that team now. Miles Sanders has not gotten the work the first 2 weeks. Will he be able to get it this week? I would hope so. Will he be able to get it by like week 6? I think that's about when he will actually get that work. But he is a top 30 back because he has that opportunity to get the goal line work. At number 31, we have Raheem Mostert going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, him and his teammate Matt Breida are both starts this week. Going to look pretty solid up against Pittsburgh. And then at 32, we have Carlos Hyde going up against the LA Chargers on Houston. I don't love him or Duke all that much, but I do think both of them will be okay enough this week to be top 32 guys. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, you ended up chuckling, you ended up just having a fucking great time, click that subscribe button. I love you all. Click on one of the videos that's on the screen. We're going to hit 2,000 subscribers soon. We're going to hit the fucking moon soon. I believe it. No one will be able to stop us. I'm all the way up. Goodbye.